Making sure I'm in focus because wasn't unsure. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Big City B. I'm B for those of you who are just joining me for the first time. Make sure you hit that subscribe button or like if you like this video. Let's get started. Today's book review is going to be Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. The genre for this book is going to be historical fiction / fantasy, and there are some trigger warnings, so make sure you check out the description down below. Alrighty, here's your summary. The Mayan god of death sends a young woman on a harrowing and life-changing journey. Alrighty, characters for this book. For track 1, we have Cassiopeia or Cassiope Ton. I don't know which one's right. It's a constellation. I looked up how to pronounce it, and 4 different videos had different ways of saying it. So choose which one you like better. Martin Hunkame and Vakub Kame. For track 2, we have Surila Leva. Alrighty, let's jump into what I liked about this book. The first thing that I really liked about this book was the Mayan folklore. I love folklore. I think it's so interesting to see what past civilizations believed in, the stories that they came up with, the creatures that they envisioned were lurking for them in the afterlife, or were lurking in the dark shadows of the jungle, or wherever. So interesting to me. I love mythology, and I haven't read any Mayan folklore or mythology, so reading about the bits and pieces within this book I really, really loved. The second thing that I liked about this book was the trope of 2 star-crossed lovers. I'm a hopeless romantic, so you know, anytime there's 2 lovers that have an obstacle where they can't be together, I'm just like, yes, but be together because I want you to be together. I love love. The third thing that I liked about this book was the cunning female lead who's underestimated. Ooh, I like this. I like when people underestimate women and then bam, we got ya. We're so much smarter than you thought. We're so much stronger than you thought. We're so much braver than you thought. I love this. It's like a comeback story, like the underdog taken over, and I just love it, love it, love it, love it. The fourth thing that I liked about this book was the whole quest, the idea of a quest. We don't have enough quests going on these days. I need more quests in my books. It was fun. It followed very much the traditional 3 kind of trials and tribulations of going on a quest before you end your quest. I would have liked if it would have been a little bit longer, but I will put that in the things that I don't like. But the 5th, just kidding, the 5th and final thing that I liked about this book was the magic. You guys know this, I love magic. When it's all sprinkled in, I love it. So I loved it in this book. Moving on to things that I didn't like about this book. The first thing, I'll bring this over from what I liked about this book, is the quest length. I wish that the quest would have been a little bit longer, and the obstacles that Cassiopeia runs into would have been just a little bit harder for her to overcome, but I still liked them. And the second thing that I didn't like was that it ended. I want a sequel to this book. I wanted to live in this world more. I want to live with the characters more. I want to see what they do after the book. I wanted to see what all was going to happen with the star-crossed lovers. It just, I wanted more. I wanted more. So that is all of my likes and dislikes for this book. So you know what that means? Let's go on over to Goodreads. Goodreads gave this book a 3.91. What the actual heck? How did Open Book by Jessica Simpson get a higher score than this book? I don't know. I don't like it. I think Goodreads is wrong. The vast majority of readers are wrong. but let's go into why they gave this book a 3.91. The things that Goodreads liked. Number 1, they liked that it was a modern retelling of mythology. The second thing that they liked was the prose and structure that hinted at the oral traditions of storytelling. The third thing that Goodreads liked is not only is it a modern myth retelling, but it's also a commentary on political and societal issues. Not something I naturally picked up right away, but going over and reviewing the book and thinking about it again, it does point out a lot of things that are wrong with the wealthy and how money gets trickled down to others, or societal class and how that puts you apart from others, or the restrictions of women and just societal complications of being a modern woman in a time where it's a little bit more conservative. Nice things, Goodreads, that you liked. Moving on to my favorite little bit is what Goodreads didn't like about this book. The first thing that Goodreads didn't like was that the characters were flat and cliched. I don't know how they can say flat because each character, each of the track 1 characters, except for maybe Vakub Kame, went through a metamorphosis on their journey. So, disagree. The second thing that Goodreads didn't like was that it was written like a YA book and it wasn't deep enough for them. I've already given my feedback on this kind of comment of dislike before, is that not every book needs to be super deep and philosophical and you're questioning and every little thing has a deeper meaning and the blue is because of the color of blah 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 blah. It can just be a book for enjoyment. Why can't people just enjoy books when they're reading it? The third thing that Goodreads didn't like was that the quest was predictable and lacked suspense. Unfortunately, I kind of agree with this one. I don't think that the quest was predictable in that we knew what new obstacle was going to show up. Maybe it's predictable and we know that the characters are going to overcome it because that's the book, that's the hero's journey. So I don't really know about that part, but the lacking suspense, this is kind of what I was talking about before and I didn't like, is that I wanted it to be a little bit more drawn out. You want to see the hero struggle a little bit. So there wasn't a lot of hero struggling with the obstacle within this book, and I think that is something that could have been put in just a little bit more. Quote number 1, bitterness will only poison you, not them. Yeah. Bitterness only affects you because the other person does not care. Most people do not care about you. So you holding on to that resentment it's only you. You're the only one feeling it. You're the only one who's feeling the negative effects of it. Just let it go. Quote number 2, money never leaves the hands of the rich easily. Like anytime a book mentions this kind of theme, it's so relevant. It doesn't. The rich hoard their money and the trickle down it's not real. It's not real and it's not happening, so just the poor stay poor, the middle class think that it's the poor people's fault, and the rich people tell the middle class that they can get to where they are if they pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Ugh. Now you all know how much I hate that saying. Quote number 3, dreams are for mortals because they must die. Ooh, this one, I was like, oh my gosh. Maybe we dream because we can get more life experience that way because our lifespans are so short comparatively to like gods or magical beings. So I just like this and I love dreaming. So I liked this quote. Lastly, would I recommend this book? Yes, 100%. Yes, 100. Yes, I would recommend this book. This was my first 5 honey pot read of 2021 and I loved it. I loved it so much. I didn't want it to end. I was enraptured with the book, with the setting, with the characters, every little bit. I loved it. I also kind of want there to be a movie about this book, but then I don't because movies never get it right. They never get it right, and they leave out details, or they think that the book is not interesting enough, so then they add a bunch of crap in there, and I don't want anyone to ruin this. That's all I have for you guys today. Let me know down in the comments, what is your favorite grouping of mythology? Do you like Greek mythology? Do you like Nordic mythology? Yeah, I said that right. Didn't sound right, but I did say it right. Nordic mythology, Mayan mythology, other mythology that I might not know about? Drop me a comment down below. Let me know so I can find new mythologies. Make sure you hit that subscribe and like button if you liked this review, and I will see you all next time. All the best always. Bye!